All right. Welcome to the Sports by Cap podcast for June 5th, 2025. Today we're breaking down the Boston Celtics salary cap situation. How do we get them out of second apron purgatory and into under the first apron excitement, right? That's the question. And I've been listening to the sports media yap and yap about it's so complicated, it's so hard and difficult to do stuff. Time out. This stuff is not hard, okay? It's very simplistic. The NBA specifically has a soft cap, so they don't have a hard cap. The second apron is just a way to discourage teams from going over it. It doesn't mean it stops them. And the Boston Celtics are the perfect example of why you would go over the second apron despite the rules. Because if we go and we look at their roster, which we're going to do right now via fanspo.com, okay, I'm going to go over there right now, and we're going to do a deep dive into their cap, okay? And let's view the payroll. And so you can see here, Jason Tatum is at 54.1, Jaylen Brown is 53.1, Drew Holiday is 32.4, and Kristaps Porzingis is at 30.7. Then you have Derek White at 26.3 million and Sam Hauser at 10 million. And then you have Peyton Pritchard at 7.2, and then a bunch of minimum level players. And then we have cap holds, which escalate your cap higher than what your payroll is. Because basically what this is we have bird rights for these players, and by having a cap hold, we can re-sign them using bird rights. Ironically, bird rights came from Celtics legend Larry Bird. That's where the word bird rights came from. Okay. Now you'll notice our total cap has to do with all the cap holds that we have. So we have 7 cap holds. Al Horford is got a cap hold of 18 million. We're going to give him a 1-year deal. Well, we'll make it 4 years, and we're going to give him 5 million a year, not 15 million, because we're trying to cut payroll, not add payroll. Okay, so I'm going to give him 5.9 million. You can see that now our total cap has gone up, but once I remove these other cap holds, you're going to notice that that 265 million is going to go down to 262.7. Then I do it again. It's going to go down to 260.4. Then it's going to go down again. Every time I renounce a player, our number goes down. Okay, so now we're down to, what are we down to? 251. Now, we have a trade exception. And I believe some of this has to do with the draft salaries that are there too. So that's a cap hold as well. So if I look at the payroll, we're 231 million. Now the way to deal with this is you have to find a team that has cap space, a la the Brooklyn Nets. So I'm going to give you a scenario where the Brooklyn Nets would renounce all their players, which I think they should. I've looked at their payroll, and we're going to cover them later in the month because they didn't win a lot of games, and so I'm doing the worst teams last instead of first. I thought about, starting at the bottom and then going to the top, but I figured, well, let's do it this way because there's a lot of news with the Knicks specifically and Jason Tatum, and so it's fresh on people's minds. It's news about the finals, and actually they're playing right now. Let me see. I don't know if the score. So the Thunder are up right now, 63-50 in the third quarter. So I'm not watching it currently, but that's a finals update for you. The Thunder have a commanding lead of about 12 points, and so they look pretty good. So that's not really the point of this. I'm not trying to give you a finals report, but let's use the scenario of the Brooklyn Nets are going to renounce these players, and they have $91 million in scap space. I can't talk. Cap space. All right? And let's say that they want Jaylen Brown. And also, the Celtics are going to say, yes, we will trade Jaylen Brown. But we need the number 8 pick. We need the number 19 pick. We need the number 26 pick. And the number 27 pick. And a 2027 first round pick. 2 of them. Or as many as you have. We need 6 picks, and you can have Jaylen Brown. I think the Celtics and the Nets would do this. Okay? Now, what that does is that trade works. Boom. Easy. Fits like a glove. Okay? Now you say, well, where are we at with the cap? Well, look at our space here. We're at $178 million. Okay? Well, let's cut some more salary. Okay. Call the Brooklyn Nets again. Say, hey, will you take on Porzingis or True Holiday? We'll take Porzingis. Okay. So now they have $7 million in cap space. We drop that in there, and boom. They got 2 superstar players. They got a building block in Jaylen Brown. He's locked up for 4 years. And now he can be the main piece for the Nets going forward. And the Celtics get a bunch of first-round picks to retool. Maybe go get a Cooper Flag, because if I'm the Celtics, I'm calling the Mavericks and saying, hey, I'd like to give you all of my first-round picks for Cooper Flag. I think they're doing that deal. So now we're way below the apron. We're at $148 million. I think we can take on, let me see how much salary we can take on, because we've traded away a lot. So we can actually take back $105 million, okay? Because we traded 2 players with monster contracts at 53.1 and 30.7. Now, I have a crazy idea that would actually work with this number, okay? We're going to need the Bucks, and we're going to need the Phoenix Suns. So I want to send Giannis, and I want to send Kevin Durant to the Celtics. And we can take back $83 million. So we need to cut $24 million from our payroll to make it happen. Okay, so it doesn't work yet, but hold on. We'll get it to work. I'm going to undo the Derek White trade. We're going to send Durant back to Phoenix, and we're going to get Giannis. That was successful. And I can take $50 million. Okay, so now I can grab Mr. Hauser and Mr. Pritchard, drop them to Milwaukee, and we have $72 million that we can take back. Okay, so now I can get Durant. That should clear. Okay, it failed. Hold on. Okay, so if I get Let's send a bunch of players to Brooklyn. Let's see if that's... I can do 2.1. Okay. So let's just do Giannis for the Celtics. Okay. So that's successful. We don't need the Suns because I'm not even trading with them. So it's a 3-team deal. We got the Bucks, got Giannis. They sent them to Boston. So we got True Holiday, Jason Tatum, Giannis, Al Horford, and Derek White. And Jaylen Brown is on the Nets with Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I could bring Kristaps back, and let's see if the trade still goes through. Yep. So, we don't necessarily have to trade Porzingis because we are 83,000 below the second apron. Okay? So, we're right there. We got two $54 million players, $32 million player, $26 million and $30. Okay. But Giannis and Porzingis with Tatum when he's healthy, I'm not sure who's beating that team. Okay. So now I'm going to refresh. We're going to start over. Let's reload it, and let's see what is going on. So in this scenario, we're going to keep Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and we're going to dump the edges, basically. One idea I had was Kristaps Porzingis to the Knicks. Be a fun reunion to see him on the Knicks again. But the piece that we really want is Kevin Durant. So we're going to send him here. And we'll dump True Holiday and Derek White. That should work. Let's see if it works. Okay, it doesn't work. So actually I'm going to have to start over. We're going to have to call the Brooklyn Nets again. And I got to renounce everybody so we get the cap space. Okay, so they got $79 million in cap space. And what we're trying to do is trade off all the minimum players first and just see if they'll take them. And also, how much money does that clear out? $29 million. So does that give me enough to get Mr. Durant? No. But they have $49 million in cap space. So I could dump at least one or two players to them. We're over the cap, but they have so we got $71 million that we can take on. So let's call up the Suns. Okay, so we got 57 million. That's allowable and incoming amount. Okay. So let's look at the payroll. So we got Porzingis, Durant, Tatum, and Brown. So you got three $50 million players and then a $30 million player, and then a bunch of minimum players. Okay, now we lost all our depth, but we have a lot of players that are good, and I think it's a reasonable risk because here's the other thing. You go all in this year, then next year, Durant and Porzingis come off the books. Okay. Now, you could re-up them right now. Heck, let's do that. Let's give them both a 3-year extension. Okay, so now they're all locked in. And I can re-sign Big Al, but I'm not giving him $18 million. I'll tell you that right now. So what this is going to do is it's going to we're at 191. I mean, I think their easiest move is just to run it back and just trade one player. So that's how they can get Durant. Let's refresh and let's see if we can do one more move. And let's keep Tatum and Brown together this time. So we got 13 players. Let's re-sign Big Al. Okay, we'll give him $5 million. And all I'm doing here is just filling the roster up. So if I'm not really talking, that's why we're just going to sign all these players to 4-year deals, giving them the minimum, and let's see where the payroll ends up. And then we're going to start moving pieces around because we need to have 15 players. So we have 16. All right, let's look at the payroll. So we're at 238 million. We have a player option here for Davidson, which I'm going to, let's look at it. Let's give him a new contract, 4 years. Save it, close it, payroll it. We're at 238. And all right, so let's look at the payroll. So we got a bunch of stuff here. So let's look at, we got Al Horford at 5 million and these other guys, and we're at 238. So we need to basically trade away a $30 million player and then a lesser contract to get under the cap. So let's call the Brooklyn Nets. And we're not going to trade Jaylen Brown this time, but let's just call them and say, hey, can you help us get under the cap? And we'll give you some picks. So we got 91 million in cap space. And okay, that was successful. We cleared 47 million-ish. We had 3 million under the second apron. And we have 14 players. So I can sign one more guy. One of the cap holds. And we can give him $2 million. That might take us over. Let me see. Nope, we're right at the line. So we're at 203. We got 15 players. And we're below the second apron by a sliver, which is great. Okay? And that's what we want. And there you go. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Sports by Cap podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get an update anytime we upload new episodes talking about the salary cap situation for a variety of NBA and NFL teams. Thanks for watching, and check out the latest episodes from the show right here.